Welcome to Chronic Health. I'm your host Ryan Lovelace, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about one of the reasons that might be the cause of why you're losing weight, but you're not seeing the weight loss. You know, the scale might be saying you are losing weight, you've lost 10 pounds, you just don't see the progress that you're wanting to see. So first of all, we need to discuss that whenever someone says they want to lose weight, well, they're talking about fat. I don't think I've ever heard someone say I want to lose weight and they're talking about they have too much muscle mass. They have their biceps are too big. I don't think we're talking about that. If you do, then maybe go watch another video. But whenever we're talking about losing weight, we're talking about losing fat, the excess fat that's around our body. And there's two types of fat that your body carries around, or there's two types of fat your body can carry around. The first kind is subcutaneous fat. Whenever someone's talking about losing weight, they're talking about the fat they can see. They're talking about the stuff they can, get a handful of and shake. They're talking about the stuff that jiggles. That's your subcutaneous fat. Subcutaneous means it's just directly below the skin. It's the fat that, everybody notices. There's a second kind of fat called visceral fat. Now, visceral fat is a little bit deeper than subcutaneous. Visceral fat is around the viscera part of the body, around the internal organs, and it's actually below your abdominal muscles. And what it does is it's fat that gets stored and pooled around the internal organs of the body. Now, this type of fat, visceral fat, is your body's more deadly type of fat. And it's deadly for a few reasons. Number one is it crowds your organs. And when it crowds your organs, it literally makes it more difficult for your organs to do what they need to do do their normal processes. And it literally makes them work harder to do what they're already supposed to be doing. Think about it, your job, if you work at a computer and you were, typing away at whatever you might be doing, and let's just say there was, a guy on this side that was sitting, shoulder to shoulder, and the guy on this side that was sitting shoulder to shoulder. Now, instead of doing it in a relaxed pace, now you're crowded, these guys are around you, and if you need to reach for anything else, it makes it more difficult. At my job, I'm constantly moving, constantly, on my feet, stacking boxes, making orders, getting it where it needs to go. And if I had, a guy on each side standing shoulder to shoulder, following me around everywhere I go, man, that'd make it much harder for me to do my normal work. And I'd be working even harder trying to do my job, plus overcome being shoulder to shoulder. I wouldn't be nearly as efficient. Your organs are the exact same way. And the harder they have to work to do their normal processes, the more likely they are to wear out, on down the line. And so visceral fat is one thing you want to get rid of as soon as you can. The cool thing is as you start to lose fat, like I said, the scale is showing that you're losing weight, but you're just not seeing it. Your body's pretty smart, because if it says, if I have that visceral fat within me, that's the more deadly fat. Your body is going to lose that first, because it knows that's the fat that, hey, we can't have around. It's more dangerous for us to have that around. Let's get rid of that first. So your body is trying to get rid of that visceral fat before it then tackles the subcutaneous fat. The second reason why it can be more dangerous than subcutaneous fat is because it increases your risk of heart disease, increases your risk of developing type 2 diabetes, and also makes you more insulin resistant. Now, whenever you hear insulin resistant, think fat loss resistant. So if I'm more insulin resistant, I'm more resistant to losing fat. And that's one thing, if you're trying to lose weight, you don't want to be resistant to the thing that you're trying to do. And so you want to make sure that visceral, well, actually your body already knows this, but you want to make sure that visceral fat goes first to free up your organs so they can do what they need to do in a much more free environment the way they were supposed to. The third reason why visceral fat is more dangerous is it releases inflammatory substances into the bloodstream. And the reason why you don't want that is inflammation is good. It's a part of the body's natural healing process, whether that's, I bumped my knee or got a good workout at the gym. Inflammation is a body's natural response to healing. The problem is too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. And if your body's already producing the inflammation it needs, and then you're consuming large amounts of inflammatory foods, well, then healing is being taking place. But because you have so much inflammation already in the body and you're eating inflammatory foods, even more is being put in that area. And then the more visceral fat you have, the more inflammatory substances it's releasing into the bloodstream. And then you have this overabundance of inflammation. And that's when a good substance like inflammation turns into a bad one, because there's almost so much, healing properties there. It can't do anything, and it can't get rid of all this because there's so much there. So also be wary of the inflammatory foods you're eating as well. So let's just say, if you're already losing weight and you're already, trimming fat, and you can see the scale is like, hey, I'm dropping pounds. Keep doing what you're doing. But something that can help is, if you, number one, if you eat better foods, that can help. If a lower carb diet can help as well. And before you start any diet, check with your doctor first anyway. Because if they say, hey, you need to be doing X, Y, Z, and you watch a YouTube video like mine that says be doing A, B, and C, well, don't go against what your doctor says. Do what your doctor says first. And then when he, takes restrictions off, then you can kind of be more free to do what you want to do. But a low carb diet can help. And number two, another thing that can help is more frequent meals. On a lot of, diets or diet programs, or, fitness or health nutrition videos here on YouTube, they'll talk about eating 4 to 6 meals a day. And what the science shows is that even if you have a higher carb diet, if you eat more frequent meals throughout the day and more regularly, even if your carbs are higher, your insulin response will be more leveled off. Think high insulin, high fat storage. So the higher my insulin goes, the higher my fat storage will go. But the more my insulin levels off, the more my fat storage will level off as well. And so the reason why more frequent meals helps is because your body is getting, more nutrition at a regular pace. It doesn't, say, hey, we've done all we need to do with what you ate last time. The next time they eat, make sure you store as much fat as you can. Your body, it kind of freaks out quickly. You ever worked with somebody that the second something doesn't go as planned, they freak out and try to overcorrect? Your body's the same way. The minute you go more than about 2 hours without eating, your body starts to get hungry, releases chemicals to cause the hunger response, and then it says, hey, the next time we eat, make sure we store as much as we can as our reserves, i.e. the fat. And then it takes in what you get, stores as much as it can as fat, because then you're training your body to not know when its next meal is coming. But if you eat more frequently, like 4 to 6 meals a day, then your insulin response is much less, even if your carb consumption is higher, because your insulin levels are leveling off the more you eat. And the more you eat, the more your insulin levels are leveled off and more, kind of controlled and not so, up and down, the less your body is likely to store fat. And then the more it can be, kind of relaxed and like, oh, okay, well, we can let go of some of that fat because we're getting the meals we need to get. We're getting them as frequently as we need to get. And then your body is more likely to let go of the fat that it already has. In summary, if you're already losing weight, keep doing what you need to do to lose weight. Keep eating the right things, keep exercising, keep doing the things you need to be doing. If you don't see it, that's okay, be patient. If you have a lot of fat to lose, you will eventually see your fat loss, but your body is smart. It's trying to get rid of that visceral fat first, because that's the more dangerous fat, and that's the more deadly to your body. So it's trying to get rid of that first before it tackles the subcutaneous fat, which is the fat you can see. And also, if you need some more direction about different things, different easy things you can do to have more of a healthier diet, eat a lower carb diet, or just eat more frequently. If you eat more frequently, that'll level off your insulin response, and then it'll make you less likely to store fat and make your body be more okay with losing fat. Thank you for tuning into my channel today. If this video helped you out or you learned something new, let me know all about it in the comments below. I post videos every Tuesday morning. If you want to know right when my videos go up, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. Remember, what you think, what you eat, and what you do will all lead to a life of chronic health. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.